second part of today's activities. There are two parts to it. Part 1 will take half an hour or so. Part 2 will take minutes or so. Okay? Do both parts today at 5:30. Are you guys all comfortable with that? Or should we just do one part and do the second part tomorrow? One part tomorrow? Tomorrow at 10:30? 10:30 meaning 9:30? I mean, will you come exactly at 10:30 or will you come at 11:30?
Will you start at 9:30, then probably they will be at 9:30.
So, what about, so these people have said we should do it in part. What about the others? Would you rather do it
Today or tomorrow?
today or tomorrow? 30 minutes today and 90 minutes tomorrow, or 2 hours today? First option is better. First option is better.
Okay.
But then today I'm going to assign you to some groups, and it's the same group tomorrow morning. Okay. So remember who you are, because I won't know who you are. Okay. So you have to remember who you guys are. If not, we'll have to do the entire activity tomorrow again, and that will be a problem. Okay. Okay. So in any development, in any city, anywhere, development happens based on lots of struggles. Okay, there are a lot of struggles, and there are many groups involved in the struggle. Okay, the 6 or 7 major groups are the following. One is developers. Developers want to develop everywhere in an area. They don't care about environmentally sensitive land. They don't care about farmland. They are looking for the cheapest land. They want to buy land at the cheapest price. They want the government to provide all the infrastructure, and they want to sell it to at the highest price, right? So developers don't care about the environment generally. They don't care about what's good for the city or for the people. They are only focused on their profits. But developers most of the development in any city is done by developers. Government has a role. They make some housing, little bit housing, LIG, MIG, HIG housing. But most of the commercial development, big chunk of the private sector development is done by developers. Okay, so they have a big role. Government has a very small role. So that's one group. Second group is planners and planners who want responsible development. They want the environment to be preserved. They want enough economic growth to happen. They want agro-based industries to grow because there's a comparative advantage here. So they want the responsible, good, sustainable growth to happen. Okay, and they understand everything. They understand the economic, needs of the area. They understand the urban sprawl issues that have been happening. They also understand equity and equity issues, and they want more equity to happen. Okay, that's the planners. The third are the politicians. Politicians want one thing: to get re-elected, and they will do anything to get re-elected. They will lie, they will bribe, or whatever. Okay, but they have a huge role because they are the elected representatives, right? So they can, and this happens everywhere. Okay, not just in every place it happens. So those are the third are the politicians. Fourth are environmentalists. Okay, environmentalists want the environment to be preserved. They don't want wetlands to be covered up. They don't want. They want the rivers to be able to flow well. They want all the, the flora and fauna. They want all the living creatures to be able to live there. All the expansion that has happened may have destroyed habitats of many things in Patna, right? It may have destroyed the habitats of some birds, maybe some turtles, maybe some other things which we don't know. But it's quite possible that has happened, and environmentalists want to minimize urban expansion because all this is damaging, right? So that's 4. The 5th group of people is business people. Business people want more people to come here because if there are more people here, if they are owning factories, they have more labor force. If they are owning stores, if there are more people, then they can sell more products. But on the other hand, if the quality of life here suffers, then people will not come here. So they want population expansion to happen, they want the city to grow, but not like developers, because for them, for business people, they want growth but slightly better quality growth. Okay, so if the city is growing well and people are richer and more prosperous, they'll have more people buying their goods and they will have better labor to employ in their factories. Okay, so that's And then there are citizens, people who are not politicians, who are not environmentalists, who want to go from one place to the other. They want decent transportation, they want good schools, they want the environment to be sort of good, but they don't necessarily care about all the birds and all those species and all of that. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to divide you into different groups. Okay. And then within the group, you have half an hour to decide over the next 10 years what will be the priorities of the group. Okay? Like list 5 priorities of the group, 5 to 6 priorities of your group. I'll divide you into these 6 groups right now. Okay, and take half an hour what your priorities are. And since we are not doing this entire 2 hours, for 2 hours today, after half an hour we'll end for today. When you go back home, look up more information for priorities within your group. So tomorrow come back really prepared. And we'll start right away, okay? 10:30 sharp. Okay? If you don't come back, Professor Abhishek is not going to give you a certificate of participation. So 10:30 you have to come back here, for sure. Okay? Yeah.
They will not. I'm giving the track. They will use the certificate, but they will not prefer to come. My experiences. So let them ask them when they will be comfortable.
Okay.
I think if you agree.
Okay. Yeah. So what time? So honestly, you have to. We'll agree on a time. Okay. If you say we'll come at 10 o'clock, we'll do it 10 o'clock. If you say 10:45, 10:45. But 10:45, you have to be here. Okay. We can't wait for anyone. We really have to start. So is 10:30 okay?
Yes.
Everyone will be here. 100%. 100%. Everyone. Everyone. Yes. 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 I'm going to make everyone ask her. I'm going to ask her. Yes.
And that is being video recorded also.
Video recorded.
We have evidence for that. So,
Yeah.
so just be cautious. If you want, we can extend. But be present on time. That's the only concern.
So this is the time to speak up.
Huh?
Yeah.
10:45.
Okay. 10 already things are changing. Already things are changing. Okay.
10:45.
Okay. So all the 10:30 people will be there at 10:45. Okay. So from Adresh onwards, I'm revising. 10:45.
Anything. So I'm the anchor tomorrow, so I have
He has no choice.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Person behind Adresh.
Yes, sir.
10:45 sure. 100% video recorded.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about you? 10:45.
Just keep moving the camera towards
10:45.
And if that is not
10:45,
being captured, then
10:45.
you will not be reimbursed.
Okay. So now to record what conversations are happening in all these groups, one person will be not part of these groups. Okay. One person will be a journalist who will be recording what each of the groups are discussing. And that person is Meenakshi. She'll be a journalist, she'll be coming to each of the groups and discussing she'll be recording and she'll post it later on. Not today, tomorrow sometime she'll post what all the groups are discussing, and she'll post 2 or 3 times how the discussions are going, okay? So she'll have a brief summary of each group and she'll post there, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ajaya, you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Supriya 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are? Okay, you're 5, okay. Then 6, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Okay?
one हो चुका है.
You're okay, then you're 1. Vivek, you're 1. Okay? So all the ones, you are environmentalists. Okay? And I'll give you some guidelines. I'll come to your group and give you some guidelines. Okay? So all the ones move towards Vivek there at the back. All the ones. Okay, 2s. Who are the 2s? Okay. There have to be some more 2s. There are only 3 2s? Okay. Okay, 2s. You're politicians. Yeah, no, 3. Yeah, you move towards Adrish. She's also 2.
1 या 2?
She's 1. Okay. All the 3s.
It's only three.
Yeah, only three. Yeah.
You are only three.
Yeah, all the threes.
You are politician.
We don't want more politicians.
Yeah.
Even money will be heavy for everyone. So don't worry.
Okay, so we've got the politicians and we've got the developers. Okay, we have two groups.
Environmentalists.
Environmentalists. We haven't got the developers.
No,
Okay.
no, no.
Who are the number threes? 1, 2, 3. You guys are developers. Okay. So all of you move towards this Vivek. Okay. You are 4 people. The first group is 4 people. Yeah. Yeah. We will make them something. We make them something. And politicians. Okay. So group number, all the 4s. Okay. Now you 3, you are planners. Okay, you are planners. You have to come up with sustainable growth for the area. So you can all move towards Julie. All the planners can move towards Julie. Okay. Number 5, no 3. This guy is also there. You're 4? Yeah, number 4, but there are 3 people. Okay, who's number 5? Number 5 is business owners. Okay, you're business owners. So all the number 5s move towards that person at the end. Okay, number 6. Number 6. All the number 6 come towards Supriya. You are all citizens of the city. Okay, now you sit down and I'm coming to all the groups one by one. Yeah. All the groups will come one by one, okay, and I'll give you some detailed instructions of what to do. For every group it's a different instruction and that's why I'm coming to you. And I don't want the other groups to hear the instruction that I'm giving you. That's why I'm coming to you personally. Okay? Okay, I'll come one by one, so you guys discuss among yourself, I'll come to you. But I'm starting with group 1. Okay? Okay. So group 1, what are you guys? And what could happen if Patna starts growing? Okay. And then generally the approach you can adopt is after all the risk assessment, you can do the risk assessment, which is good, okay? You should have all of that. Then you will be negotiating. After this, what's going to happen is tomorrow you will be negotiating with other groups. And the other groups will be saying there is no environmental damage, Patna can expand anyway. You guys should say that Patna should not expand. Already so much expansion has happened, so many habitats are lost. Okay? So your position is trying to minimize environmental damage. Saying that
It will be kind of debate actually.
it will be like a debate. You will be debating with all the other groups. Okay, so essentially you'll identify all the problems that have happened, environmental problems that have happened in Patna thus far. And if urban expansion happens over the next 10 years, then Patna will have significant environmental consequences. Lots of birds will die. Lots of water pollution will happen. A lot of things will happen. Okay? And so that's, and then come up with a list of 10 things that might happen if Patna's urban expansion goes on. 10 things. So based on your risk assessment and all these things, 10 things where Patna's urban expansion will cause these 10 different problems. And prioritize the problems. Okay? So then after that in the discussion, you might not get all your 10 priorities satisfied. But you must absolutely get at least 1 or 2 priorities satisfied. Okay, so imagine all the major problems that can happen and come up with a list of 10 and say 1 and 2 you will not compromise on.
Okay.
And the other 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe you can compromise
1
on.
and 2 priorities can be case study actually, a real-time case study.
Could be real time, anything could be real time. And the more real time you make it, the better it will be.
No, actually, I have data for real time. I visited,
Yeah.
northeast part of, like Bihar. So I
Yeah.
have some
Yeah, so we're looking only at Patna, PMC, okay?
Yeah.
Patna Municipal Corporation. Metropole, yeah, actually we do as PMC. Yeah, because, my fault that I did not get the instructions clearly. I was going to say that we should do it for a metropolitan area, but some people have done the analysis for the PMC. So we'll go only with the PMC. Okay? That Patna Municipal there is a lot of land in the Patna Municipal Corporation right now, empty land. Agricultural land, non-agricultural land. So we will, so at the end of half an hour today, I'll tell you what the discussion point tomorrow will be.
Yes.
Okay, I'll say that, and actually then I'll tell you right now. It'll be, Patna should not expand beyond its current PMC limits over the next 20 years. Okay? And you guys will be arguing it should not expand because already so much problem has happened. Okay? And developers will be saying we have to expand, population is coming, all those things. So you guys will be opposed to each other.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll have a lot of fun. So come prepared for that. As much real information as possible. Come up with a list of 10 priorities, of which 2 you are willing to not negotiate at all. And 8 maybe you'll negotiate. And tomorrow we'll have some more round of this, okay? Okay? Clear?
Yes, I got
Good.
it.
All 3 of you are in the Patna City Council, City Corporation. You are all elected. And as the city grows, there will be more money for development. And all politicians get a small cut of the money. So as the city grows, you will get more personal money. And as the city grows, you also will have bigger national profile. As if Patna becomes the #1 city in bigger than Calcutta or something, it will have a bigger profile nationally. So a PMC politician can possibly become a national level politician if Patna grows. But you also want respond to the people. You want to respond to the people. So in the next 20 years, what would you like to see happen in Patna? So you come up with that, okay? 20 years. Okay, what would you like to see happen in Patna? And come up with a list of about 10 things that you as politicians would like to see. And they're primarily based on your self-interest. Okay, nothing, not people's interest or what's good for Patna. Not what's good for the environment, not what's good for, not what is good planning. What is purely good for you as a politician. Yeah, not what is good for planners, not what is good for development. What is good for you personally as a politician. Okay. Okay. And you
not get it, we cut the money.
yeah, whatever. So you identify what you want. 10 different things and rank them priority. Like number 1 to 10. If you don't have 10 things maybe you come up with 5 or 6, but come up with more than 5. And rank them within the group, you decide what you want. Internally, as a group, you have to decide these are the 5, 6 or 10 things that you would like to see. And of this, number 1 and number 2 are these things. Tomorrow what's going to happen is, you will be discussing with all the other groups for a compromise. Okay, environmentalists will say Patna should not grow, and you are saying Patna should grow. So you it will be not a formal debate, you will be negotiating with each other. Because see, all this discussion in urban development plan, politicians don't come in on a TV and say I want this and debate with planners. They are discussing everything behind the scenes. So let them,
Personally, they go and
yeah, so what will happen tomorrow is you will go to some of the other groups and say, what do you want? We'll strike a deal. Okay. Okay, so in that, identify on the list of 10 things, you identify 2 high priority things that you will not compromise on. And then 7 or 8 things you can compromise on. Okay, and tomorrow the discussion topic will be, the idea that I'm going to introduce tomorrow is, over the next 20 years, Patna PMC should not expand beyond its current limits, spatial limits. Okay, so the current boundary is defined. There's lots of open space within PMC, right? So the current PMC limits would be an urban growth boundary for Patna. And over the next 20 years, this will be the firm growth boundary, and PMC will not expand beyond that. And as politicians, maybe you wanted to expand, the environmentalists will say no. So, and we'll have a good debate on that. Okay? So come prepared. And this evening you can look and you can see what politicians in Patna are saying, what are they thinking, and give some justification for your position. Like from a politician perspective. Okay? So you can see how maybe one PMC politician was in the west part of town over the last 20 years. West has, as you saw on the map, has grown so much and he's become very influential because the western part of Patna has grown so much. And his personal wealth has also increased so much. So you can find some justification for your answers, okay? Good. And don't share your points with the other group members. Okay? They want only their private profits. They want to maximize their private profits. 30 years from 1981 onwards because of this crazy growth of the city. And the idea that I want to discuss tomorrow, like all the groups will be discussing tomorrow, is this: that Patna's current, PMC's current boundary will be the urban growth boundary for the next 20 years. In 2041, no growth will happen outside PMC boundary. And within PMC boundary also, the environmentally sensitive areas will be conserved. Okay? Now, politicians are going to say, that's not the case, we should expand PMC, we should cover the wetlands and etc. Environmentalists will say, the current urban area is the maximum urban area. Okay? And you planners have to come up with the consensus, balancing. So every other group is trying to get their best interests. You will have to get everyone to come to a compromise. So you have a very critical role. So you have a very critical role.
All will pressure us.
Yeah, all will pressure. Politicians? Sorry? No, between everyone. Every other group will say something. And all the other 5 people will have their own interests. And you have to bring, so you know all the other 5 groups who they are, right? Everyone's in. They're working then. You have to
Entertain about everyone's interest.
you are the only group that is concerned about the citizens of the entire city.
In the end, we are the one who will be signing and making the plans which they will develop.
Yes, and you want
The blame is on us.
yes, blame is on you, but also you have to make sure that everyone come to a consensus. Okay? So the argument tomorrow will be, we will all be discussing this point that Patna will have an urban growth boundary that corresponds to current PMC limits. And Patna will not expand beyond that, no matter what happens. Okay? So what you have to identify between today and tomorrow. Yes, so you find out all the things that are already insufficient within Patna and how, if we expand outside PMC, all those problems should become worse. Wetlands will be covered up, there will be more urban flooding, transportation issues, people will be driving greater distances. For all of that, get data. Get data on how air pollution has changed, how many wetlands have been lost, how much agricultural land has been lost. Get data for all that. Okay? And don't share your points with everyone else. And tomorrow, everyone is being told to come up with a list of 10 things that they want. And they will be willing to compromise on 6 or 7 of them. And they will not be sharing it with you, but through the discussions tomorrow, this will come up. Okay? This is possible. And all of you guys are different people at this conference, representing different interests. Okay? And you are developers. You want cheap land, you want the ability to develop anywhere that you want developers. And we want cheap land. We can get information on how land has become more expensive. And if you place a limit, if you say development can only happen within this area of land, price will go up. On the other hand, if you say you can have on this big area of land, price will be lesser. So you can bring some numbers and statistics showing how the price of land has gone up, both from 1991 onwards, how the price of housing has gone up since 1991 onwards, how many people are not able to afford a house since 1992, and therefore there should be no growth on that. Okay? So you come up with about 10 reasons why there should be no growth. Okay? And prioritize them. Okay? Prioritize them.
And tomorrow what's going to happen is in the conference there will be discussion. We will be discussing with the environmentalists and with the politicians and with the planners. And the environmentalists might be the most opposed to you. Okay, environmentalists would say, already the development has caused so much of damage. So not only should we have PMC urban growth boundary, we have to make the urban growth boundary inside the PMC area. Okay, and you're arguing that it should go outside. There should be no growth. Okay, so you come up with this strategy by the boundary should not be there. It should be, there should be no growth boundary, city should expand. And 10 years of plan, one or two of those reasons, even within the group, you have to agree on everything, okay? So this is not your 10 reasons, this is 10 reasons of the developers. And you can look up information for them, like how the land has gone up, how to support your efforts. Then, in the discussion, come prepared with 5 or 6 points that you would like to get out of this discussion. But there should be 1 or 2 things that you will not compromise on. Okay, whatever that is, you come up with something. 1 or 2 things that you will not compromise on. And the other 4 or 5 things you will compromise on, depending on how the negotiation goes. Okay? So maybe environmentalists are saying no growth, and you are saying full growth, and maybe you can strike a compromise. Okay? So whatever list of 7 or 8 things you come up with as priorities, don't share with the other groups. Okay? They should know it only tomorrow morning when you come. But you 3 should know what it is. So you can look up all this information tonight, and tomorrow when you come, we'll start this conference. Okay? You agree? Any confusion? And as much data as you have, bring that data. So you can, over the night, you can look up data for what have been the big challenges from a developer perspective. See, planners think that developers are bad people, not that, but developers have their own problems. Okay, maybe finance is a problem, maybe land with infrastructure is a problem. Yeah. So you find out all those problems and make a case for why there should be no growth. Okay? And then we'll see at the end of the conference whether we can get a consensus-based solution. That everyone agrees, here are the few things that we can do. Does that sound good? Okay, it'll be fun. Okay, so come at 10:30, we'll have fun. Put in conference, conference to determine this particular objective. Patna Municipal Corporation's boundaries should not extend beyond the current limits. So now you've seen that in the map you saw the limit, right? Patna Municipal Corporation limit. So Patna's boundary should not extend beyond these limits till 2040. So that is next 15-20 years, the boundary should not, and that is, there should be no growth outside, no growth outside this. Okay? And at the end of the conference, we have to agree, we need to see whether we can get a consensus on that from all the different groups. So you've seen all the groups, right? There are politicians, there are developers, there are environmentalists. The environmentalists will be saying, I'm putting so much of damages happening to the environment. And not only should we, now in the PMC right now there's open space, environmentalists will be trying to say, we should have a urban growth boundary inside the PMC. That is, no more growth. The developers would be saying we should be expanding outside the PMC. So they will be fighting. There will be an opposite sides. Okay? You are business owners. As business owners, you want more population to come. But you also recognize that if the development is not very good, then people would not be attracted to come to Patna. So you have to identify what your position is. Do you want Patna to grow and have a growth plan, or do you want Patna not to grow, or would you want some kind of growth? And come up with a list of 5 or 6 things that you would like as business owners. The 3 of you as business owners. So you can tonight when you go back home, you can look up the newspapers and see what business owners are saying about growth in Patna. Just do a Google search, find out, or you can imagine also what business owners are saying. Okay? Then come up among the 5 things, come up with 2 things that you will not compromise on in any discussion with others. 2 things you will not compromise on. And 3, 4, 5 things you might be willing to compromise on. Tomorrow when the council starts, you will go to the other groups and see how much you can get from all the other groups. Okay? So for you, it will be very, very successful. The conference will be very successful if there are 5 things you come up with and all 5 things you can satisfy at the end of the conference. Okay? Now, if there are two things, but most probably you won't be able to get 5 things. But if there are 2 things that you can get, then you're more or less happy. You're satisfied, but not very happy. But you want to make sure that you're also satisfied. If you get 0, then you'll be 1 unsatisfied, and most probably any compromise that you come up with will not be implemented, because business owners will go to the politicians and say this plan is bad, this all that thing. So business owners contribute a lot to politicians, right? So the plan will not happen if you guys are not satisfied. So 1 or 2 things will satisfy you, 5 will make you very happy, 0 will make you very sad, and you will try to kill the plan. Okay? So this, in the next 5 or 10 minutes, sort of discuss what you will look for information, and then at night you can probably identify additional information. And tomorrow morning, 10:30, we'll start the conference. Clear?
Being a business owner, what type of business should be?
It's up to you. Whatever business, it could be manufacturing, but except for real estate development, because developers are doing real estate. Yeah. So it could be manufacturing, it could be a shopping mall, it could be a travel agency, it could be anything other than building houses and commercial developments. Any other kind of business. Okay. It could be an agro-based business selling, because agro-based is big here. So whatever. So it's entirely up to you. And whatever arguments you come up with, back those arguments with data from the Patna area. And so you can say about the last 20 or 30 years, because Patna has grown, everyone's income has grown, this and that. And over the next 20 years, if we let Patna grow, everyone's income will grow, those kinds of, so it's up to you. There are no perfect answers, it's up to you what you want to present to them. Use in your discussions. Okay?
This objective that PMC boundary should not go beyond
Yeah.
2040.
Yeah.
So that is our objective.
That is up to you. That is up to you. So the group is going to discuss.
Is that a mandatory objective which you have given to us?
No, that's a idea that we're going to discuss, and we need to get to a compromise. Can we get everyone to agree to a compromise that the PMC boundary will not change from today to 2040?
So on this idea, everyone will be discussing.
Everyone will be discussing on that, and hopefully we can have a consensus-based solution at the end of our conference, saying that PMC will not grow beyond the current boundary by 2040. Okay, so it's not a mandatory thing, but this is the goal. The goal is whether we can get everyone to agree to this. Okay. So different groups of politicians, environmentalists will be saying we should grow. Developers will be saying yes, we should grow. You guys are somewhere in between. Figure out what your position is. Okay? So it'll be fun, as you can imagine. There will be a special conference. Okay? And the objective of the conference is to decide whether PMC boundary can be kept as is till 2041 without expanding. Okay, as you've seen, there's a lot of urban growth is happening in Patna, and a lot of this is bad things have happened there, but some progress has also happened. So you are citizens, you are concerned about air quality, water quality, long driving distances, and you may not want PMC boundary to expand. Okay? I'm just suggesting, that's one possibility. Maybe you want PMC boundary, but that's for the 3 of you to come up with. I'm not suggesting anything. You 3 of you discuss among yourself and come up with it. Then come up with lots of data. Supposing your position is PMC boundary should not expand. Then come up with lots of data, sufficient data from the last, say 1991 onwards. Say how travel distances have increased, how air quality has increased, how inequality has increased, all of that. And then based on that, come up with say 5 or 6 things that would be your demands tomorrow. Okay? But tomorrow what's going to happen is you will be discussing with all the other groups. And the other groups will say that if your position is, let us say, PMC should not expand, then the other groups will be saying PMC should expand. And so what we want to do by the end of the conference is to come up with a compromise position that, so you might say, okay, we will allow PMC to expand a little bit if ABC conditions are satisfied. Okay? Or you can say no matter what, PMC cannot expand. Okay? So the environmentalists might be saying, I don't know what they'll say, but they might be saying that already so much of damage has happened. We don't want the urban area even within the PMC to expand. So not just the PMC boundary, we want the boundary to be inside the PMC boundary. They might say that. So the environmentalists might say the PMC has lots of open space right now within it. They might say that road boundary should be within. Okay, and they say we don't want a road boundary. We have to as possible, and we'll keep expanding beyond the existing boundary. So you guys come up with a list of 4, of which 1 or 2 we want definite. So these 2 things have to be sort of satisfied. A list of 5 things, and you can say A, B, C, D, E, F. A and priority things, we need these to happen. If C, D are very happy, but A have to happen, we won't compromise on this. B and E we can negotiate with others and give away compromises. If you guys are not satisfied with C, D or E, then you are very unhappy. You might talk to the politicians, want to respond to the citizens. They say no compromise, we can't boundary or we can't have. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It will be very organic. Okay, so you guys come up. We can discuss a little bit more over tonight. Some more information for your position. And tomorrow morning you'll be discussing with at 10:30 sharp. We'll start the discussion. We'll start discussions with all the other groups, and we'll see where we are. Okay. Good. Very chaotic. Like citizens will be going to other people and all that. So to help every person to identify everyone else, Professor Abhishek has made a very good suggestion. That is, within the group, decide on a color code for your shirt or top. Okay, if possible. Yeah, so everyone, so if everyone here is wearing a red shirt or top, everyone will know that they are citizens.
Decide the color for it.
Yeah, so decide the color for it. No, sorry, no. So 4:30 will end. So decide what you want to do. And tomorrow you have to come at 10:30. Okay, there's video recording of you saying you'll be there.
And be on time.